Hello, dear sniffers. It has been so long, and I'm so sorry about that. But after the lockdown was over in Berlin, I kind of got more busy. But I also moved around like 4 neighborhoods in Berlin in like these past 4 months. So it was all very hectic, and I'm sorry that I didn't get to do any videos. Also, I hit 100 subscribers. Now I think I have 124 subscribers. And I really appreciate that. I'm really happy about that. I want to get to 1,000 as soon as possible, so let's make that happen. So today I'm going to talk about my biggest pet peeve in perfumery, which is this conversation around natural versus synthetic materials, ingredients that we use in perfumery. I think the same topic also goes for cosmetics and the fragrance in cosmetics, and there are many wrong opinions and arguments going around without any basis. I wanted to talk about this and clear the air out a bit more. I'm going to come to you with scientific facts and try to debunk the myths that says naturals are better, healthier, safer for you. So let's quickly define what natural and synthetic ingredients mean. Because when we see a product that says natural based, whatever, we should be understanding what that actually means, right? Let that airplane pass. So natural ingredients are ingredients that you obtain by processing a material that you collected from the nature. So these can be flowers like rose and jasmine, or like woods like sandalwood, cedarwood, herbs like rosemary, patchouli, or resins like olibanum, myrrh. So you collect these materials from the nature and you process them to obtain a natural ingredients. And these processes can be distillation, where you use water, or a extraction where you use a solvent. And at the end of these processes, you either obtain an oil, or an absolute, or a concrete. And that material will be a natural ingredient that you can use in perfumery. So what are synthetic ingredients? Synthetic ingredients are single molecules that you create in a laboratory or a manufacturing facility by doing a chemical reaction. It is basically organic chemistry, and you have a recipe and you go through a lot of hassle, and at the end you will obtain a single molecule that you can also use in perfumery. And one example can be Hedion, which was found by Firmenich, a fragrance house company, in 50s, and it is widely used and it's beautiful molecule that you use in perfumery. However, chemical synthesis is not the only way to obtain these single molecules. What you can also do is to extract or derive that single molecule that you want to use in your fragrance from a natural ingredient. Meaning you have a natural ingredient and you process it in laboratory, etc., and then you obtain the single molecule at the end from that natural ingredient, which has a lot of molecules inside it. Here we can start to realize that strict line that separates the natural from synthetic starts to get a bit blurry. So let me ask you a question. What comes to your mind when you think of a natural ingredient? For me, when I think about a natural ingredient, what comes to my mind is molecules. Different molecules. Maybe hundreds of molecules that are different, and then they combine in different proportions and they create this natural ingredient. Even just by realizing this elementary school chemistry fact, you'll notice that people who are saying this has synthetic ingredients, it's not good for me, it's not good for my skin, etc., they don't know what they're exactly talking about, I think. So let's go through a GCMS analysis of rose oil. And GCMS analysis is basically shows you what you have inside that natural ingredient, molecule by molecule. And here it shows like 30 or 50 or whatever, but actually in reality you have lots of other molecules that cannot be traced by this GCMS, because either they're in like low quantities or the methods cannot just detect it. So if I go to a laboratory right now and start mixing, let's say citronellol, geraniol, phenylethyl alcohol, and eugenol in like same proportions that they exist in rose oil, would that be less safe than the actual rose oil? No, it won't be. Because they're basically the same thing, but rose oil will have lots of other additional molecules in it. But the average consumer will have the idea that it will be less safe than the rose oil because it was just simply made in a laboratory. And like I said, that's not true, but actually that is quite the opposite. Because the many molecules that you have in those natural ingredients have more potential to actually be less safe for you. Why? It's simple logic. One, because they have lots of molecules, like I said, and it's harder to predict their safety for you. And two, it's hard to control the amounts of these molecules that could be potentially bad for you. However, with synthetic ingredients, you know exactly how much you're putting inside the formulation, and you know when to stop before it gets bad for you. So you have much more control. So how do we actually make sure the safety of perfumed products? Well, of course, there are many regulations around this subject. First of all, there is IFRA, and they tell you the percentages that you can use in your product for both natural or synthetic ingredients before they could become potentially dangerous. There is also this allergen list, and if your product contains that, you have to put it on the label. If your product has eugenol, you have to put it on the ingredient list. And you have this list for some materials that can be potentially allergenic for some people. Also, some natural ingredients are also in that allergenic list, like oak moss, Evernia prunus-free oil. But also there are specific regulations inside specific countries. For example, the last fragrance that we launched with the Zoo, Smile and Shine, it is actually not allowed in China because of the high percentage of citrus oils in it. So at the end of the day, there are many regulations and restrictions around this subject that protects you when it comes to fragrance materials. These products go over many tests before you can put them in the market. You have to test them, you have to ensure their safety, and you just don't use the ingredients that are actually harmful for you. It's not the case, I'm sorry. And a lot of brands advertise natural because it's just a marketing trend right now and they just want your money. However, I have one or two disclaimers about this, and one is that natural ingredients are rich and beautiful because they have those small little molecules, hundreds of molecules inside them, and they make that ingredient beautiful and rich. I was only talking about the safety of these ingredients, and I was not talking about the olfaction and the smell by any means. Of course, the rose oil, I think, smells much more beautiful than the rose accord that I just talked about, that I mixed with like 6 ingredients, no. And if you believe that those natural ingredients have scientifically not proven magical powers, that you think that they are good for you, good for your health or whatever, it is fair to believe that. I almost kind of believe that too, so can't say anything about that. And another point which is very important, I think, is that because of this marketing trend, a lot of brands are asking for 100% natural fragrances, right? And this is kind of a nightmare for the perfumer especially, because it is so hard to create something pleasant and nice by only using natural ingredients. You cannot get creative, you cannot accentuate one facet or another. It's going to be hard. I wanted to make this video because it's so much better to get educated on this topic, so you know what you're purchasing, you know what you're contributing into. And I really hope that I made it a bit clearer for you. And like I said, I hope it's cleared your mind and will help you make a better decision when you're purchasing a product later. And take care and bisous, and hope to see you soon with another video. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe and do all these things and sniff a lot more. Cheers!